Okay. My name is Nabil Tarazi. I'm the Managing Director of Eco Hotels. We're the operator of Feynan Ecolodge. Feynan is located in Dana Biosphere Reserve, one of the biggest reserves in Jordan. It covers an area of around 320 square kilometers. And what's unique about Dana is it has different geographical zones. You can start from the place where we are here, which is desert, and you can go up the top part of the reserve, which is at around a mile above sea level, and you have complete different vegetation, flora and fauna. The reserve has been around since 1989. It's operated and run by the Royal Society for the Conservation of Nature. It's a local NGO that's mandated by the Jordanian government to operate all nature reserves in Jordan. And what's unique about Jordan is it's an NGO that operates reserves and not the government itself. In the mid-90s, the RSCN pioneered ecotourism in Jordan as a tool for conservation. So bringing tourists here to basically look at the beauty of what Jordan has to offer, at the same time generate income for conservation and provide opportunities for the local communities. And Feynan is probably one of the best examples in Jordan for ecotourism, in the sense it's the only or one and only true eco-lodge in the country. The lodge was built in 2005. It employs 26 people. All of them are from the local communities. And from green credentials, it's extremely green. Basically, we're not connected to the grid. We're not connected to any utilities. All the electricity that we generate is done using the sun. We have photovoltaic cells on the rooftop. They generate the little electricity that we use every day. And that electricity is used only for the bathrooms and the kitchens and the offices. Aside from that, no electricity, it's all candlelit. The candles are made on site by the women from the local community. Hot water comes from the sun. We use the sun to heat the water. And the water itself comes from a spring up in the canyon in Wadi Dana. So, from footprint, extremely minimal. We recycle most of our waste and we compost our food waste to turn it into fertilizer that we use in a herb garden that we have here at the lodge. We've eliminated plastic bottles completely from guest rooms. Instead of having plastic that people drink bottles and throw them away afterwards, we basically have clay jars that are made by a local community. They're disinfected every day, filled with mineral water. So with that process, we eliminate around 10,000 plastic bottles from the environment every year. When it comes to heating in the winter, instead of burning wood, wood is a real rarity in Jordan. As you see, we're in a desert area. We basically use the byproduct of olive pressing, and that's called jift. And basically the pit and the skin of the olive, when the olives get pressed, instead of throwing it away, they're made into blocks, dried, and eventually when they're dry, we bring them to the lodge and we use them as fuel for our fireplaces. With this process, we're eliminating around 3,000 tons of the need to burn 3,000 tons of wood by using this jift. So this is a very quick overview of the lodge. People come here not to stay in a hotel, they come for the experience. And the experiences are massive. You've got beautiful nature around you. You've got history, archaeology that goes back to the Neolithic ages. And you've got beautiful canyons for people to go and hike in. So when people come here, they come for this whole experience as opposed to just come and stay in a lodge.
My name is Sulaiman. I work here eco guide and I am from the local community. I grew up here. My family lived here before 35 years ago, and I stay here and I studied in Feynan school 10 years. Then I go to high school in the village. Then I continue my study in the college. I studied accounting, but I prefer to work here because I grew up here. I know the area here, and it's for me. I like the nature, the hiking, so I prefer to work here. It's close to my family, just like 10 minutes walking from here to my family. And also I work here, and my brother work here, and my brother he work as eco guide here, and I enjoy here in my job.
So what does the community feel about the Eco Lodge and the employment it's created?
The relationship between the lodge and the local community, it's strong relationship between the lodge. It's make enough money for the local community. For example, the transportation from the lodge all the cars, because the lodge not have cars. Just we call from here call the Bedouin drivers, and they take the tourists from here to everywhere, and all revenue from transport goes directly for Bedouin drivers. Also other thing, the delicious bread we use it in the lunch and the dinner and the breakfast. It's made by local Bedouin women on the set. So this is a strong relationship between the lodge and the local community. Also the staff here, all the staff here from local community. Also, as you see, the leather workshop outside, it's about 6 from Bedouin ladies. It's made its work here, and also the candle in the lodge and in the rooms, it's made on the set. It's 2 from Bedouin ladies. It's work here and make the candles for the lodge.
So the lodge is a good neighbor for you?
Yes, it's a good neighbor. Yes. 80 families benefit directly from Feynan, and 400 people from the local community.
So I'm sure everybody hopes the business continues to be successful and prosper.
Yes, that's sure. Yeah, everybody here, all the local community help the lodge, and the lodge help the local community. So it's the relationship is strong between the lodge and the local community.
Is there much interaction between the community and the tourists? Do they talk to one another? Do they enjoy meeting the tourists?
Yes,
and the tourists enjoy meeting them?
Everybody happy if the tourists go to visit the Bedouin family. So the Bedouin family, it's open all the time. Anybody can go visit the Bedouin tent. So the Bedouin still have hospitality. You can go, you can drink tea with them, you can enjoy, see the Bedouin life, and the fact it's everybody happy if the tourists go to visit.
My name is Paul Birchenshaw, and I'm a PhD researcher at the Institute of Archaeology at University College London, and I'm here looking at how the archaeology of the Feynan region and tourism can work together for sustainable in the same way that the ecolodges and RSN has pioneered ecotourism with the natural landscape.
I believe it's a very important archaeological site. Tell us a little bit about what happened here.
That's correct. The area is most famous perhaps with the general public for the beautiful landscape and the ecology and the flora and fauna, but amongst archaeologists this is an extremely important archaeological area. There's 2 main stories which are present in the Feynan area. The first is the early and later Neolithic sites, and then the second is copper production. With the Neolithic sites, these sites represent a time when people for the first time are living in larger communities. They're coming together and figuring out how to live together in larger numbers. So they're building their first structures, the first buildings, coming together in settlements, and they have the origins of agriculture. This whole region is the first place in the world that people are doing that, and here in Feynan we've got a few sites, very good sites, which show that process, show that story, show the transition and the different technologies and advances that people are making at this time, which is about 10 to 12,000 years ago this begins, and the story is here in Feynan for people to see. The other big story is that of copper production, and in the geology here you've got lots of copper present in the layers, and copper mining and production begins here around the early Bronze Age, possibly into the early Neolithic, we're not sure. But so from that time, people are mining it, they're smelting it, they're melting it to get out the copper that's in the ore, and they are trading it out here to north, south, east and west to other communities in the area. And so here in the Feynan landscape you've got the mines present from all this time, you've got big copper processing plants, and you've got some of the settlements that people created to be able to exploit this resource. And so while this area is famous for its natural beauty, in the past in some phases this was a large-scale industrial landscape where you've got huge areas of people using furnaces, smelting copper, and especially in the Iron Age and the Roman Byzantine period, you've got huge production areas producing tons and tons of copper and trading this out. So it's a factory that's happening here at various times in the past. And it's also famous for, in one particular case, in terms of the Roman era production. They used Christian slaves that came into this area, and it's mentioned in the Bible that they used Christian slaves to come in as the workforce, and since then it's become a bit of a pilgrimage site for people to come to those Christian to the Christian sites and where they were buried, having been used in this process.
And you're looking at how the tourists here can also learn and see some of these sites.
Exactly. So I'm working with other archaeologists who have excavated here in the past, British and American teams who have been here, and seeing how what is famous for archaeology and what is known there, and that these fantastic stories that this area has can become part of what tourists can see in the area and used in places like the Ecolodge and the local guides, again to give local benefit, but also in the same way that ecotourism tries to preserve the animals and the landscape and the plants, to preserve the archaeological sites as well, and make people more aware of the stories that they tell us.
Thank you very much.